Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about the readability indices. I probably mispronounced that, so I don't know. It's always giving me trouble. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about, and we have two formulas that we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be the fog index and what I'm going to call the Flesch um, Kincaid grade level index. I probably mispronounced that as well, so just forgive me for that. Let's get started. The first one we're going to be talking about is the fog index, and basically what the fog index is, it is an equation that determines the level or the writing level of a text. Like, and what I mean by a text, I mean we're talking language arts, paragraph stuff, and um, and we're going to determine how difficult it is to read it, or in other words, what grade level would a certain text be considered. Now, just kind of an example I wrote down here, a fog index score of 12 would represent the reading level of a high school senior. So when we take our information and plug it into this equation here, and I'm not doing this right or whatever, it is going to give us a number. So if we were to, let's just play the what if game and throw in some numbers and it ends up being 5.3, well, you would say that the uh, level of difficulty for that particular text would be for a fifth grader. Now, the one thing to pay attention to, and that is, clean this up a little bit, is that this right here, the number of complex words, and I wrote a little note down here, there are words with syllables of three or more. Okay, but no proper nouns, family jargon, etc. is considered a complex word. So like for example, the name Jonathan, well, Jonathan has three syllables. So you would say, oh, okay, the letter or the name Jonathan would be considered a complex word. There you go. That makes more sense. All right. So that would be considered a complex word, but it unfortunately works with the whole concept of it's no proper nouns, family jargon, etc. So that wouldn't be considered. Well, I'm probably confusing you, so let's go ahead and start for the first example. All right, sample number one. I went ahead and took the time to figure out how many words there are. There were 100. How many sentences there were, which is 9, and then how many complex words there are, which were 2. Now remember, a complex word is a word that has 3 or more syllables. Now, um, if you need to pause the video so you can actually count, feel free to do so. If not, we're just going to keep going. All right. Now, I did the work here, so kind of forget that. I should have erased that before I started the video, so my fault on that. The number of words is going to be 100. The number of sentences, 9. The number of complex words, let's go back. I highlighted them, there are 2. And once again, the number of words is 100. Okay? So we're going to set the equation up, and it's going to be 100 over 9. Remember, I'm writing with my mouse here, so it may look a little funny here. 100 times 2 over 100. Now, there's a lot of operations going on in here. So remember your orders of operation, and that is what has to be done first is everything that's in the parenthesis here. And so I'm going to multiply or divide. I'm sorry, I'm going to divide that first, and then I'm going to do the 100 times 2 over 100. And then after that, I'm going to add it all together. So when I do the math here, it becomes 0.4 is equal to 11.1 plus 2. And so when I keep doing the math here, I get 0.4 times 13.1 because I added. And my next step would be to multiply, and my answer is going to be 5.24. So my answer is going to be 5.24. So if I was to ask you on what grade level is this, you would say, well, since there's really a 5 in front of it, you would say, oh, that's for a fifth grader. All right, pretty simple. All right, let's try another one. Okay, here's our next one, and it's a little smaller one, so it's going to be a little simpler, hopefully. You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to read it. And I went ahead and already counted, and I have 53 words, 4 sentences, and the last thing I'm going to need to know is how many complex words. So let me go ahead and figure that out. Okay, so I went ahead and highlighted all my complex words, and so let's go ahead and do this again. So my complex words is going to be a total of 4. So let's go ahead and do the formula. So that is going to be zero point 0.4 times the number of words, which is 53, over the number of sentences, plus 100 times, that's a time sign, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 53. And once again, we're going to multiply it. I'm going to pause the video. So I'm going to pause the video. Go ahead and pause it if you want to and work it out. If not, then we're just going to keep it running. And I ended up getting, for my answer, 8.3. Okay, so once again, if I was to ask what grade level, it's the 8th grade. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Kincaid grade level index. Now, everything is exactly the same. You're still dealing, well, obviously except the formula, but you're still dealing with the number of sentences, you're dealing with number of words. But the one thing you're bringing into play here is now the number of syllables inside a text. Okay, and so what that means is, let me go to my example. You've got to figure out how many syllables there are in this entire text. Okay, and so let me clean this up a little bit. Now, the best way that I've figured out how to do it is just go by the whole thing, just put a little dash every time you deal with syllables. So family, that's 2 syllables, photos, depict, smiling, faces, births, weddings, holidays. And so actually, I think I might have messed up on the last one because I don't think I highlighted holidays as one of the complex. But anyway, you get the concept. All right, so we have to go through this entire thing to figure out how many syllables there are. But I went ahead and did that, and those are all my syllables. Okay, and so my words, sentences, and now there's 85 syllables in this text here. There's 85 syllables. So using this formula here, okay, I left the fractions blank, so I have to actually go and plug that in. So the number of words over the number of sentences. So the number of words over the number of sentences, that will be 53 over 4. Okay, and then the number of syllables over the number of words. So the number of syllables was 85 over the number of words, which is 53. And so using order of operations, I'm going to multiply this first, then this, and then add everything I got. And when I do that, go ahead and pause the video if you want to. All right. The answer is 8.5. So I have a readability of 8.5. Now that goes back into what we learned about the other one, the Flesh Kincaid, and I don't think I showed this slide, so I apologize, early in the morning, and so this video is kind of all over the place. But for an example score of 9.3, that represents a 9th grade reading level. And so based upon what we have done with this one text here, using the Kincaid one, we get 8.5. But let me go back to the other one with the Fog Index, we got 8.3. So either way, we're talking about an 8th grade reading level. Okay? And so that's how you figure it out using those two formulas. The Fog Index formula is here. The Flesh Kincaid one is here. And so if you know how to do that and you know how to figure out how many syllables and words and sentences, you should be good. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.